Well, a crucial weekend beckons in the Premier League title race as all of the top three are level on points with 3 games to go. 4 points separate the top four, and we face two of them at home today. And if we win them, we could be right on top and have our own fate in our own hands. The domestic treble is still potentially on, but the fatal blow may have been struck last week. Let's go and get into a massive double header and see if we can do the unthinkable. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 58 of this FM06 Let's Retro Save from Luton Town. Possibly the penultimate episode of the series, but today we finished the week in pretty big style. We could leave ourselves with one hell of a cliffhanger because we face 4th place Liverpool and 1st place Chelsea in the Premier League today. And while we've got the worst goal difference of the top four, we are well in the title race, level on points with Chelsea and Arsenal and 4 clear of Liverpool with 3 games to go. We have got a few players out. We've got a few struggling with morale with 3 league games to go against these two and then Manchester United, followed by an FA Cup final against already relegated Fulham. At the very least, I expect a domestic double in Champions League football, but could we make it a treble with an unexpected Premier League title? If you're looking forward to finding out the answer, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. What a finale it could be on Monday if we're still in the race after these two. But before we go and get through to the Liverpool game, let me show you what happened in the one game off camera, because just like that Leeds game we showed a few weeks ago, it could be a crucial blow, because if we'd won it, we would have been top outright. But I guess going against our bogey side Bolton, a 2-2 draw is not a bad result. We were battered. Anthony van den Borg got a 4 out of 10 rating, made 2 mistakes costing us goals. But Mike Zonneveld put a free kick in the top corner before he goes off to Fulham in the Championship next year. And Gabriel Agbonlahor, as he so often has this season, ran in behind to get us a goal. So 2 draws in a row in the FA Cup where we got through on penalties, and then in this one. But it does mean we're still on a long unbeaten run. If you look domestically, because our only recent defeat was the Arsenal game in the Champions League quarter-final, and then Barca before that. Our last domestic defeat would have been Arsenal in the Premier League at the start of February. We've had a long run since where we've done really well, but when we've come up against these top 3 or 4 sides this season, we have generally struggled. Arsenal put 4 past us twice. But what will Liverpool and Chelsea do? We snuck a 1-1 draw away at Anfield in the Premier League. Now we've got to try and get it right today as we host them at Kenilworth Road with one hell of a chance. I mean, look at this Premier League table. United are now safe, which I don't know if that helps or hindered us when we play them in a couple of weeks. But the top 4 is just astonishing. No massive points totals for sure, but certainly one hell of a title race. We'd all take that, wouldn't we? We're definitely secure Champions League football. The top 3 takes us out of some of the qualifying as well. We've only lost 3 games this season. Everyone else has lost 7 or more, but those draws could end up being crucial. So let's see if we can go and get through in style today to face Liverpool at Kenilworth Road. Arsenal have got a home banker against Blackburn. Chelsea don't play till tomorrow. They're away at Leeds, which is a tough game. If we can get a win here, really puts us in the ascendancy. I've made the bold decision to stick with Anthony van den Borg despite his poor morale and his awful match rating. We have also got a few of these boys now tied down to new contracts. Van den Borg is one who won't sign one. We've got like Basagno tied down till 2015. We also tied down the likes of Foley, De Cassie, not Mikel, Agbonlahor, Crouch, and Keith Keane for a little bit longer. There's a couple of others we're negotiating with, as you can see. Portia's one that signed a new deal, and we're trying to get Ferdinand and Flamini extended too. So overall, we're in pretty good nick. But there is a little bit of a concern today, because a few players are struggling with morale. Leonardo, Van den Borg, Portia's dropped out for the same reason. There's a few players struggling physically. I've gambled on bringing De Cassie back in. I've stuck with the front 2, even though they're both struggling a little bit as well. And that means that our 11 for this game is Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Van den Borg, Basagno and Davis, the first choice back 3 return. De Cassie is joined by Flamini in midfield. And then Zonneveld and Foley, the wing backs. Still no Rodrigo Diaz, still no Freddie Guarin, though you can see him returning to training at the bottom. And John Obi Mikel behind Agbonlahor and Crouch. Keith Keane returns to the bench just to give us versatility. Need a holding midfielder and a right wing back physically. And we've got the big front 2 if we need them. A couple of other Brazilians there as well. It's all down to this. There's 3 games to go, and a win here could put us in charge of the Premier League title race. Can we do it? Let's go to Kenilworth Road and find out. Well, what an occasion this is. I mean, look at that Liverpool midfield. Lucas, Alonso, Gerrard and Messi. It doesn't get much better than that, does it? They've got Woodgate, Carragher and Risa in the back four, Pepe Reina in goal, Tevez up front with Mikel Forssell, who's become a proper superstar in this game. 30 years of age now, but he bangs them in for fun. On the bench, Jibril Cisse, Jonathan de Guzman, Diego, and academy graduate Richard Pitts, who is now a regular in the England squad. It doesn't bode well for us here because, like we saw when we played against Chelsea, these teams have just got better sides than us. As Zonneveld shot straight at a keeper, and my gamble to start the Cassie has not paid off. He's made it 6 minutes, he's injured already, and we're going to have to take him off because he's struggling physically. And I don't want to get him injured for longer, especially with that FA Cup final coming up, which is a winnable game. So it's going to be back to Leonardo and then Basagno in midfield. As Liverpool have a shot at the other end, it's going to be the Cassie off for João Leonardo, an early sub that we were hoping not to make quite this soon in the game. Well, we return with Anthony van den Boer giving away a free kick. He had a nightmare last week and he's not started that well this time either. I wonder if morale's dipping at the wrong time for him. If De Cassie had stayed fit, there's an argument for the FA Cup final that he would have dropped out as Tevez gets in from a free kick, but he's offside and Schmeichel does enough anyway. Not the best first 10 or 12 minutes because Liverpool are dominating this match. And you'd expect that, but it's whether, like those Real Madrid and Inter games, can we nick a 1-0? Can we be solid? As Mikel chases down Jamie Carragher, forced into the right back area. In the end, Mikel does really well against him. Gets it back to Zonneveld, and now we're on the attack. Flamini up to Crouch on the edge of the box. And against his former club, he just whistles one into the side netting. It's a cracking effort. But he's not quite in the back of the net as Schmeichel with a ball out to Van den Boer. Curtis Davis looks long, Crouch the target. Woodgate able to beat him, and now Tevez finds Lucas Leiva up to Forssell. Holds up well, finds Gerrard. Not able to get into the game just yet, but plays a 1-2 with Carragher and releases Tevez. Options in the middle, it deflects. Leonardo can clear, and now Agbonlahor. Not really getting a touch in this game, certainly not in the areas we want him. We can't get him in behind here as easily as Gerrard. Back to Carragher. Good football from Liverpool. They've looked the more composed in possession. And Xabi Alonso, we don't want him getting it there. It's a good save from Schmeichel. Placed finish into the corner. But the goalkeeper reacts well. A quarter gone. And if anyone looks the more likely, it's probably the visitors. It's hard to know really whether draws are bad results in these games. We don't know what the others are doing. But it's not going to be a draw, is it? Because João Leonardo, that's why you weren't starting. Because you're liable in moments like that. He's given away a penalty against Tevez. Jamie Carragher's taking it. And Schmeichel saves the first and the second. Double save. Why on earth is Carragher taking the penalty when Gerrard, Tevez and Alonso are on the pitch? And Messi for that matter. Alonso with a free kick is not going to matter. Xabi Alonso puts it in the top corner. Half an hour gone. Luton 0, Liverpool 1. We can have no complaints about that. They've dominated the match. Van den Boer's missed header. He's done it again. Oh, Anthony Van den Boer's having a shocker. What do we do about him? Because we don't even have a defensive sub now. As Agbonlahor will chase the long ball. Loses the header. Basagno's there second though. Finds Leonardo. Almost gives it away. Davis saves his bacon. Agbonlahor loses out as Van den Boer gives it away to Tevez. What has happened to Anthony Van den Boer the last 2 weeks? He's dropped off a cliff in terms of form. Carragher gives it to Forssell. And it's thankfully wide of the post. But he's almost cost us again. Maybe we're not ready for the big games. Maybe it's going to cost us when it matters. Arsenal are beating Blackburn 2-0. This is a game that I feel like we've got to get something from. We're going to say we're not happy with the performance because it's not the result that's the problem here. We can lose to Liverpool. We can lose to Chelsea. We've barely put up a fight here. As Zonneveld into Crouch, who's offside, I think. Good save by Reina. Nothing given. And Carragher puts it out for a throw-in. It's surprised the flag didn't go up there. However, with 50 gone, it's all Liverpool for the most part as Risa puts the corner in. Woodgate's up. Off the line by Foley. Woodgate commits the foul anyway. Curtis Davis lost the header, but he's forgiven for it. Now, can we create something special? Mike Zonneveld did it last game. Forces the save from Reina, but it's comfortable enough as he gets it on the left again. Deflected cross from Gerrard, who's picked up a knock. Deflected clearance off Zonneveld. Crouch flicks on. Reina tips it over the bar. Can we produce something from the corner? Just feel a draw would be an okay result here. It would keep us in it. Carragher heads away for a throw-in though. We don't look like opening the door. And if anything, Liverpool look the more likely for a second as Tevez plays a 1-2 with Alonso. Woodgate flicks into the side netting. I'm going to give it 5 more, but I'm not going to leave the subs too late in this one. There's a lot of players and a lot of candidates that could come off here. As Schmeichel goes long, crouches up, flicks on for John Obi Mikel, in behind Reese, who does really well to recover. And Carragher goes long towards Tevez. Van den Boer wins it. Mikel up against Gerrard. The Englishman wins it. A Schmeichel, oh my God. Not in a game like this. What a clearance off the line, Curtis Davis, but it's not going to matter. Alonso puts the rebound in. Kasper Schmeichel. Has he been watching his Scottish Cup performance from 20 years later? My God, that was atrocious. What a moment to come out and miss your kick. We had the subs planned. And again, that old superstition, if you've got subs prepared, if you've got pending substitutions, it always happens. We're going to take Agbonlahor off for Shane Paul, Foley off for Keith Keane, and we're going to leave it for the last 25. I think our title chances have taken a fatal blow here. Arsenal go 3 up, so they're 3 points clear and with a far superior goal difference. I don't see how we recover it as Mikel. It's now the battle for third, isn't it? Because Liverpool will be back in the race, but we've got Chelsea next week. We could push them back down. As Curtis Davis picks it up, gives it away to Cisse. With claps when it matters most. And I've said this all season to you, haven't I? When we play against the very top sides, your Arsenal, your Liverpool, probably we'll see with Chelsea next week. We just haven't got enough defensively. We're not the same quality. And unfortunately, we've still got a gulf to go to beat them on the day. Yes, we beat Chelsea at Wembley. They rotated a bit for the League Cup. Yes, we've been consistently as good as those over the season. We've been brilliant against the rest of the sides in the division. We've drawn or we've won all the games. But when we play these top sides, we still take a tanking at times. We did it against Arsenal in the league 4-1. And Liverpool are doing it to us now. Only 2-0, but it could have been more. If it wasn't for the penalty save, if it wasn't for a couple of brilliant Schmeichel moments, despite the one awful one he's had, it would have been a very difficult day. As it is, we're going to lose by at least 2. And the title dream is probably over. But where are we going to finish? As Crouch picks the ball up on halfway. Can we get one back? A little bit of a consolation with Shane Paul. Not with a shot like that. It's optimistic. It's well wide. And Pepe Reina will watch it go past the post. Liverpool are going to win 2-0. Arsenal have won by 4 in the end. And if Chelsea win tomorrow, basically it's the battle for third at the very best. So let's see what the final seconds entail. Van den Boer away as far as Paul. Flicked on towards Mikel. Nobody's going to get there. I just feel like players are dropping off at the wrong time. And Van den Boer in particular is just the case in point. What on earth's happened to him? Been brilliant all season and suddenly become an absolute idiot when it matters most. Schmeichel's mistake on the biggest stage, you can't really legislate for that. I think we only had 2 minutes added on. I'm not sure why we're still playing. This is why the highlights are so much longer in FM06 compared to the modern ones, because you see so much of stoppage time, even in a game where there's not much riding on it like now. Van den Boer gets it at right back to Basagno. Big ball up to Crouch. Flicks down, but nobody's there bar Alonso. And Pitts will clear it downfield. Liverpool are going to win 2-0. We're going to be down to third with a point gap to Liverpool. And with 2 games to go, including against Chelsea, it's not going to be an easy finish. Let's see how we get on next weekend. Can we keep any sniff in the title race? And will Chelsea do us a favour tomorrow? Leeds is a tough away game for them. If they lose it, we've still got a chance at second at least. We're going to say we're disappointed with the performance and hopefully get a reaction next week. Well, Wednesday night football, and if we want to finish in the top 2, we're going to have to do something special now. Chelsea won 4-0 on Sunday at Leeds, played their first team. The mistake we made when rotating for the Champions League. And our defensive record, you can see it there. In recent months, it's gone completely haywire, and it's the difference between us. We've scored the most goals in the division by 1, which is ironic considering we win a lot 1 or 2-0. The goals conceded column is so much greater. That's partly tactical, but also a little bit of a lack of quality when we've got a couple of injuries. If we beat Chelsea today, we go level on points with them, albeit behind on goal difference. Arsenal have got another banker at home to Borough, so I'd expect them to win. For us, it's about what we can do to try and stay in the mix. Now, the Cassie's fine, so I'm going to keep him in. We're going to bring Leonardo in for Van den Boer. I feel I have to drop him after his recent performances. Freddie Guarin is fit, but not quite. I want to make sure we don't have any injuries. So he's going to come in for the United game. And then we'll focus on having him fit for the FA Cup final next time. Otherwise, the bench, the only question is, does Portia come in? With Keith Keane not needing to be there quite so much this time, I think that is going to be the case. So back to a pretty much full strength 11. Van den Boer replaced by Leonardo. And the rest of the squad stays the same as we go into this one with a dip in morale and a must-win game if we want to stay with a chance at a title. Well, Chelsea have strengthened their squad somewhat, nicking Robin van Persie from Bolton. They've still got Lampard, Moutinho in the middle, Torres, Robben, Terry. Ferreira, it's a ridiculous team. Peter Cech in goal, don't forget him. Let's see how we get on in the first half. You're seeing the difference in quality. When we come up against most other sides in the division, you feel that we're equal to or competitive with them, or maybe even better in some cases. When we come up against these top three, you just go, God, the squads you've got are ridiculous. As Zonnevel gets down the left-hand side. Good cross in. Terry misses it. And Agbonlahor nearly scores. Mikel goes back to De Cassie. Of course, this universe, John Obi Mikel has never played for Chelsea. As De Cassie on the right-hand side finds Leonardo. Can we take advantage of the early pressure? It's a big ball up to Crouch. Loses out to Terry this time. And with a quarter of the game gone, it's been a much better performance. Much more solid defensively. But you still worry about things like this. Foley does well against Van Persie that time. But we've got to improve defensively if we want to win the title. Schmeichel's not going to do it. We probably can't have Foley as our second choice. We're going to have to find other solutions. And I know we've got that young midfielder coming in from Rangers, but we're going to need a little bit more. As Schmeichel goes long downfield towards Peter Crouch. He's got two up in support with him. Terry wins it though and finds Torres, who beats Basagno to give it to Lampard. And a switch out to Paulo Ferreira. The right back starts storming forward. No support at the minute, but he just keeps going down the line. In the end, John Obi Mikel back to help out. He's been forced a little deep as Lampard looks for Van Persie. Foley nicks it. Big ball over the top. Doesn't quite reach Agbonlahor. Joseph Yobo mopping up. And now Lampard long to Torres. Flicks on and wide. Not really been any great chances in this half. We've not had a shot at all. Chelsea have only had a couple on target. It's been a pretty dull game. But then Chelsea get a draw here. They definitely finish above us. So let's tell the lads that we can do a bit more. We want to encourage them. Want to get that morale back up for the end of the season. And hopefully, with 45 minutes played, we can produce a bit more in the second half. As Kasper Schmeichel has got a goal kick from the back. Robben's beaten by Zonneveld and Crouch. Outfoxed by Moutinho there. As Ferreira on the right. Working it down the right. Bit of a Portuguese combination in that midfield area. As it's out to Del Horno on the left-hand side. Support from Van Persie, the new signing. Picks it up on the wing. Playing a 1-2 again. Eventually someone's going to cross it. There it is towards Arjen Robben at the back stick. And he beats Davis in the air, but only into the side netting. And it stays 0-0. Not a bad result for us in a grand scheme of things, but might not be enough to secure the top three. Liverpool are still 0-0 in the Merseyside derby at the minute. We're at Arsenal. They're 0-0 with Borough in the second half. So everyone's slipping up. If we could win this, we're right back in it. As Torres goes for the switch. Not seeing any evidence we're going to win because, you know, we're yet to have a shot, for example. And Torres has forced another good save from Schmeichel. I feel like I've got to make subs because we can't even get a shot on goal. It's not quite like the League Cup final, this, is it? Del Horno finds Lampard and Van Persie on the left, surging down the wing. Forced back inside to Del Horno. Lampard again with a shot. It's straight at Kasper Schmeichel. We're going to go for subs. We've got to do something to try and add a creative spark and get ourselves in possession, as Foley's going to lose that. Leonardo finds De Cassie. Big ball forward towards Agbonlahor, but Yobo's there again. He's been so good in this game, Joseph Yobo, and that pass from Flamini is pretty wayward. De Cassie's pipped to it by Lampard, who surges downfield, puts the shot wide. He's just that solid rock that stops the long balls going into Crouch. Now, what can we do with the subs? Agbonlahor is absolutely gone. In fact, all of the front three are. So we're going to go Portia for Mikel. We're going to go Shane Paul for Agbonlahor. And we're going to go Roger for Crouch. It's a different style of front three to what we had before. But he can't do any worse in terms of creative spark. They're all out of form at the wrong time. Now, can the substitutes produce a moment of magic? At the moment, we're holding firm defensively, but only just as Lampard from distance forces a very good save. Kasper Schmeichel tips it round the post. Julio Baptista has come on for Moutinho, a more attacking option in midfield. And Arjen Robben has got the corner for Chelsea. 20 minutes to go. They've been the dominant force again. But at the moment, we're clinging on. We're doing what we did against Inter, against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Those solid defensive bases. And now it's the counter we wanted. Shane Paul is chasing Del Horno, but he's not going to make it. Peter Cech comes, just had a bit too much on it. Was a bit worried that Schmeichel charged out there, but he stayed in his goal eventually. As Cech rolls out to Yobo, you can see what they've done. They've dropped Yobo into the back four. They've pushed Baptista further forward in midfield. As Leonardo looks for Paul, flick on is only as far as Carvalho, who's also on. And Torres will chase the long ball, but Basagno gets it down for Foley. We couldn't nick it, could we? Shane Paul from Portilla. Substitutes doing well. And we've had a shot. It's something. We've had a shot at last. Not on target, not threatening the keeper. But it is a shot. It's progress. We're in the final third. Ferreira gives it to Robben. It's Chelsea straight back on the attack. And that one, thankfully, straight down the throat of Schmeichel. Foley with a throw on the right, though, and we are in the opposition half a bit more. Robben beats Roger, but Basagno finds Flamini. And now we're camped in. Zonneveld to Flamini. Gives it away to Baptista. That was a chance as well. So annoying. Schmeichel gives it up, and it's given away. Torres looks for Robben, and now the counter's on. How have we got ourselves in this position from dominating the ball on the edge of their box? Ferreira finds Robben. Don't do this to me. Baptista. The difference between the sides. Lampard switches to Ferreira. Support down the line from Robben. Options in the middle. If he crosses, Baptista's one. It's a great save. Kasper Schmeichel making amends for the Liverpool game here. Couple of stunning saves in this second half as Del Horno picks it up on halfway. We've had a shot on target according to the stats, and we've got a free kick with Zonneveld. Roger flicks on into the side netting. Almost a big moment. And we've got a throw on the left again with Zonneveld. We're finishing okay here as Flamini picks the ball up in midfield to Basagno. João Leonardo can cross halfway. Big ball to Zonneveld. Into Roger. Goes for the shot. Good save, Peter Cech. We're having a couple of chances now. Corner kick. 6 minutes to go. Would be a lovely time to nick one. Zonneveld in. Rogers up against Cech. Too close to the keeper. Poor corner from Zonneveld. Now Chelsea have one at the other end. 2 minutes to go. Carvalho's up, as is Schmeichel, who punches. Didn't get enough on it, but Terry heads wide. It looks like it's going to peter into a 0-0. If the other results are the same, that could be frustrating. Over the balance of the game, we take the result. It's not a bad one at all. Now the question is, are Liverpool still behind us? They are. They drew 0-0 at Everton. Arsenal drew 0-0 with Borough. So, I mean, technically, we could still win the league final game. But when you look at the goal difference, we're basically battling for third and fourth. Manchester United have made 40 points. They're up to 14th. And they're our opponents on the final day before we place Fulham in the FA Cup final. That's going to be a big doubleheader on Monday. To finish off this series, will we finish with a domestic double? Or will it be disappointment under the arch? Let's go and find out if we've got any injuries. I don't think we have. A new Luton record of 26,488. We'll take that. And Kasper Schmeichel man of the match after his dismal display at Liverpool. Van den Boer out of form is a worry for us, but our job is to get our confidence back against United on Sunday. That will be the double header that finishes off this save as we finish season 6 with an FA Cup final. We've already won a major trophy, which is what we wanted to do with the League Cup. But if we could win one of the ones that Luton have never won in their history, and one of my favourites in the FA Cup, that would be something very special. So I hope you'll join me on Monday for the grand finale of this series as we find out whether we can do it. Let me know if you want the save file after as well. You're more than welcome to carry on. And we might do a little recap episode just to look at how the English and world football pyramids have changed in the 6 years that we've been going in this universe. If you did enjoy this one, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. No goals and not much attacking quality, but we're just not as good as the top 3 on paper. If you want to stay up to date and see how we go on Monday and catch up with our LMA Manager streams, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. You will see those replays over the weekend before we start something new here in the not too distant future. But for now, it's all attention on Monday and a big double header, including the FA Cup final to finish this save. Will we win it? I'll see you next time to find out.